The sun had already begun to bleed gold across the cracked asphalt of the Cairo flower market when Ahmed first heard the laugh, sharp, metallic, the kind that slices through the humid air and leaves everyone within earshot holding their breath. He was kneeling among buckets of bruised roses, thorns pricking his fingertips as he trimmed stems with a rusted blade. The laugh came from a man in a linen suit the color of bone, flanked by two bodyguards whose sunglasses reflected the chaos of the souk-like twin black mirrors. The man, Karim al-Mansur, though Ahmed didn't know his name yet, held a single red rose between manicured fingers, twirling it as if it were a toy. "Sell me these roses in Arabic," Karim announced to the crowd, voice booming with the confidence of someone who'd never been told no, "and I'll pay you $100,000. He let the silence stretch, then snapped the stem in half. Petals fluttered to the ground like dying butterflies. "Come on, little florist. Impress me." Ahmed's hands stilled. Around him, vendors pretended to rearrange carnations and jasmine, but their eyes flicked toward the confrontation. $100,000. Enough to fix the roof that leaked onto his mother's bed during monsoon season. Enough to pay for the surgery his sister Layla needed, the one the doctors kept postponing because, next month, never came. Ahmed rose slowly, wiping dirt from his galabeah. The millionaire's gaze locked onto him, amused. "You heard me," Karim said, softer now, dangerous. "Sell me these roses. In Arabic. Make me believe they're worth more than the dust on your shoes." Ahmed's throat tightened. He thought of Layla's fevered eyes last night, how she'd whispered that she dreamed of walking again. He thought of his mother counting coins under the flickering bulb, lips moving in silent prayer. Then he looked at the broken rose on the ground, its petals already browning at the edges. "These roses," Ahmed began, voice barely above the market's hum, "grew from soil watered by my father's sweat before the cancer took him. Each thorn is a memory of the day he taught me to plant seeds with hope instead of fear." He lifted a fresh bloom, crimson against his calloused palm. "This one opened the morning my sister first smiled after her accident. Its scent," he brought it to Karim's face, uninvited, "is the same as the jasmine my mother wears to mosque, reminding her that beauty persists even when the world forgets." Karim's smirk faltered. The bodyguards shifted, uncertain. Around them, the market had gone unnaturally quiet, even the stray cats paused mid-prowl. Ahmed continued, each word measured. "In Arabic, we call this color, Amar, not just red, but the color of the heart when it bleeds for someone else. These roses aren't for sale, Saidi. They're for giving. To the widow who lost her son. To the child who's never seen spring. To the man who thinks money can buy what only kindness grows." He pressed the rose into Karim's hand. The millionaire stared at it, then at Ahmed, something unreadable flickering behind his eyes. "Keep your money," Ahmed said. "But if you want to buy something real, buy my sister a wheelchair. Buy my mother peace. Buy yourself a mirror." The crowd exhaled. Someone started clapping. Slow, then faster. Karim's fingers closed around the stem, a thorn pricking his skin. A bead of blood welled up, bright against the petal. That night, Ahmed sat on the roof with Layla, her thin legs draped across his lap as they watched the Nile reflect 1,000 lights. "You were brave today," she murmured. "I was terrified," he admitted. "But fear and love share the same heartbeat." 3 days later, a black Mercedes pulled up outside their crumbling apartment in Imbaba. Karim al-Mansur stepped out. Alone, no bodyguards, no sunglasses. He carried a single white rose. Ahmed met him at the gate, wary. "I came to buy your roses," Karim said, voice stripped of its earlier arrogance. "All of them, but not with money." He handed Ahmed an envelope. Inside, medical records, a hospital appointment for Layla, a deed to a small flower shop in Zamalek, prime location, rent paid for 5 years. And a check, not for $100,000, but for $1 million, made out to a foundation in Ahmed's father's name. "I don't understand," Ahmed whispered. Karim's eyes were red-rimmed. "My daughter, she was in a wheelchair too. Before the accident that took her." His voice cracked. "I built my empire to prove I could buy anything. Turns out the one thing I needed, her smile, was never for sale." He knelt, pressing the white rose into Layla's hands when she wheeled out to greet them. "This one's called sterling silver. It blooms even in winter. My daughter loved them." Layla touched a petal to her cheek. "It smells like forgiveness." The transformation didn't happen overnight. Karim returned weekly, first to deliver supplies, then to learn how to graft roses under Ahmed's patient instruction. The millionaire's hands, once soft from boardrooms, grew calloused and scarred. He sold his yacht to fund a mobile clinic that brought doctors to Cairo's slums. Ahmed's shop became a community hub. Children learned to read among the blossoms, widows sold handmade perfumes, ex-convicts found work tending greenhouse seedlings. One spring evening, 2 years later, they stood together in the expanded garden behind the shop. Thousands of roses bloomed in impossible colors: midnight blue, sunrise orange, the rare green rose Ahmed's father had spent a lifetime trying to cultivate. "Look," Karim said, pointing to a small plaque embedded in the soil, "for every rose given, a heart is healed." Ahmed's mother arrived then, walking without her cane for the first time in years, Layla beside her pushing an empty wheelchair they'd donated to someone else. The women laughed as children chased fireflies between the beds. Karim turned to Ahmed, eyes shining. "You sold me those roses after all." "No," Ahmed corrected gently. "You finally learned how to receive them." The millionaire who once mocked with $100,000 now knelt to plant a new cutting, dirt under his nails, humming an old Arabic lullaby his daughter used to love. Above them, the roses swayed in the evening breeze, their petals catching the last light like a promise kept. And somewhere in the distance, a broken stem from years ago had somehow taken root in the cracked pavement of the flower market, blooming defiantly red against all odds, proof that even the most crushed things, when met with kindness, can grow into something eternal.